Greetings, and welcome to Today in Trek, our daily show about what has, is, and will happen in the world of Trek. It's January 14th, and our host is Captain Gornalicious, who is commanding the SCS Name Pending. Due to a minor bug that happened with the patch last week, all captains in Star Trek Online have suffered a catastrophic loss of their traits. So if our good Gorn captain gets himself blown up a bit too often, it's because he's in a state of rebuilding his ship. Here's to a quick fix, and thanks to the awesome Bordicus for keeping us in the loop. The coffee of the day is a latte from Lulu's Bakehouse in Indianapolis, Indiana, 'cause it's Tuesday, and Lulu's is my Tuesday thing. On to Today in Trek. Birthdays first. If not getting credited for your acting work was a thing, Anthony Joachim, who was born in 1892, is a master. He played a survivor in the TOS pilot The Cage, for which he was not credited. Ditto The Menagerie, for which he was not credited. Ditto Gunfight at the OK Corral, which also featured DeForest Kelley, Whit Bissell, and Kenneth Tobey, for which Mr. Joachim was not credited. At least he was credited for his work in the 1953 version of The Jazz Singer and the Outer Limits episode Don't Open Till Doomsday. Martin Goslins, who played Satok in the TNG 7th season episode Gambit, Part 2, was born in 1939. After immigrating to the U.S., he became a dentist, then an actor, then a lawyer. Yowza! Actor Barry Jenner was born in 1941. He played Admiral Ross in DS9's 6th and 7th seasons, and voiced the same role for the video game Star Trek Deep Space Nine: The Dominion Wars. Jenner was also an LAPD reserve officer for 20 years. I'm beginning to feel really inadequate. Chicago actor, stuntman, and stunt coordinator Eric Mansker was born in 1947. He was the stunt bartender in the movie Star Trek III: It Really Deserves a Second Look. Every Trekkie remembers the awesome TNG episode Sarek. In one scene, Sarek begins to cry, presumably moved to tears because of the beautiful music being played by the string quartet. The cellist in the scene is Marston Smith, born this day in 1952, and yes, he's a world-renowned cellist. Way cool. Duke Muskian, the actor who played Gillespie in the TNG episode Night Terrors, was born in 1953. Game voice actor Nancy Linari was born in 1955. She has voiced multiple characters for Star Trek Deep Space Nine: The Fallen, and Star Trek Command 3. Writer Drew Dayan was born in 1957. He wrote the TNG episodes Sins of the Father and Reunion. Twin brothers Robert Van Dyke and Michael Van Dyke were born in 1960. They both worked on the sets for Star Trek Nemesis. Michael Baer, a comic book artist for DC, was born in 1961. He worked on Who's Who in Star Trek I and Who's Who in Star Trek II. Strange New Worlds actor Sean Ahmed was born in 1986. Hannah Spear, who acted in Discovery, Short Treks, and Strange New Worlds, was born in 1991. In Trek-related stuff, IDW Publishing released issue number 1 of Star Trek: The Next Generation Intelligence Gathering in 2008. In 2015, IDW released The Q Gambit, Part 6. In 2016, Disruptor Beam released the mobile RPG Star Trek Timelines. In Trek series on this day, the Voyager episode Waking Moments aired on this day in 1998. In 2004, the Enterprise episode Chosen Realm premiered. We don't give Enterprise enough love, in my opinion, but sometimes it's hard to find a great reason to love the writing. And this episode is an example of that. While Manny Coto is a great writer, his premise here, to illustrate that extremism, religious as in this story, or any other type of unyielding belief in something that's not based on empirical evidence, is a one-way street leading to disaster, whether it's in the short term or the long term. The same topic was handled in TOS's Let That Be Your Last Battlefield, which addressed extremism in the matter of race, where Chosen Realm opted for religions. In both cases, however, the approach is as subtle as a bag of hammers. This is one of the things that Trek was noted for, addressing what Armin Shimmerman called social evils, but is probably more accurately called social issues. Behaviors in our society that have little to no benefit, but sometimes become so ingrained that we don't notice it, and therefore it perseveres. Trek used alien cultures and civilizations to mirror the issues we experience in our lives, but which have presumably been cured in the future of Trek. I think the biggest issue with Chosen Realm, however, is that it relies on the characters being stupid. Phlox says the aliens they've just brought aboard refuse scans because they're against their religion, but he assures Archer that they're no threat. Instead, it turns out they're carrying organic explosives. And by the way, where's Porthos when you need him? Don't dogs sniff out those things? Anyway, they promptly blow a hole in the ship. The aliens are equally daft. Archer convinces them that the transporter is used for garbage disposal, but on occasion it's also used as a humane execution device. And they don't ask why they've got this nifty, sparkling, clean room to process the garbage. The lack of intellect continues as the crew and the Pilgrims attempt to wrest control of the ship from one another until we reach the same ending as in Battlefield, where the Pilgrims see their homeworld in ruins as a result of the religious wars. 1 year later, the episode Daedalus aired. I'll give it credit, it's a better story than Chosen Realm. Say what you will, though, about the current trend towards 10-episode seasons, we do see better writing. In 2018, the Discovery episode The Wolf Inside aired. On a sad note, actor Mart McKesney died in 1954. He played Armus in the TNG episode Skin of Evil and was a Shellyak in TNG's A Shade of Grey. In 2009, Ricardo Montalban died. Even though he starred in over 200 movies and television shows for more than 60 years, Trekkies will never forget him courtesy of his performances as Khan Noonien Singh in Space Seed and Wrath of Khan. Trek History of the Future, Section 31 premieres in 10 days. It'll be shown on Paramount Plus in the US and other international markets that have Paramount Plus, and on Sky Showtime in other international markets, premiering on February 7th. That's it for today, folks. Take care of yourselves, and we'll see you tomorrow.